All right, welcome back. It's Back to the Basics. I'm Sean Barr, and today we are talking about 3 commands, 3 of them, that'll give you some time back. Let's go! All right, we're back, and we're talking about 3 commands that will give you time back when deploying network equipment. So that's a router, a switch, specifically a Cisco device. Okay, the first command is no IP domain lookup. Well, what does this do? With domain lookup on, and you're in the exec prompt and you type a command that's not really a command, the device will try to search DNS for that name. And so it'll take a little while to time out. It'll sit there and search and search and search, and it takes up a lot of time. If you're ever typing on a router or a switch and you fat finger a command and it just sits there and it pauses and it pauses, it's trying to look that up as a valid host name. So when you go to configuration prompt and you enter no IP domain lookup, what it's going to do is tell it, hey, if you don't recognize a command, don't try to resolve the host name. So that saves you a ton of time when deploying. Another command is logging synchronous. So what it does is if you're debugging some feature, maybe ICMP or some other feature, you're debugging it, and those logs are rolling in from the console. Whether you're connected physically or connected via SSH or Telnet, you're seeing those log messages roll. And if you type a command, what it will do is you'll miss the first portion of the command you type. So it's very hard to see where you're at. So if you type logging synchronous, what it does is as a log message comes in, it'll ensure that your command prompt stays with you so that your text that you're typing in doesn't get broken across 5, 6, 7 messages and you don't know where you're at in the command. So it'll save you a lot of time if you're debugging and you're logging a lot of data. It will make sure that you can see what your command is. That's it. The third and final thing is terminal length. So terminal length is when you type show run in a router or switch, and it shows you a certain amount of text and it says press any key to continue. You press any key and it rolls on by, and then you press any key. That's typically set at 25 lines. And so if you type show run, it'll show you 25 lines. You press spacebar, shows you another 25. If you are trying to capture the entire configuration, so a lot of times before you make a config change, you want to save that to a text document. You're going to type show run and you're going to hit spacebar a bunch of times. If you go to the config prompt beforehand and type terminal length 0, it will basically scroll until the config is done. So then if you turned on your text logging, you type show run, it will get the entire configuration without you hitting the spacebar. Additionally, to turn it back to default, you can type terminal length 25 and that'll put it back to the standard length. So those are 3 commands that'll save you a ton of time. No IP domain lookup, logging synchronous, and your terminal length when you're trying to get a command out or a config out of the router. If I said anything in this video that you're like, hey, I'd love to know more about that, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you on the next Back to the Basics. Thanks for watching.